The trail begins at the Upper Kananaskis Lake parking lot. You can start at Interlakes as well, but this would require you to hike several more kilometers of lake shore before reaching the Astor Lake Junction. The forest on the shady south shore of Upper Kananaskis Lake is much cooler and more lush than that on the north shore. Here there are deep carpets of moss, bubbling springs, and depending on the season, a variety of edible berries. It's important to note that foraging in provincial parks is prohibited, but knowing your edible berries is still a good skill to have. These are creeping raspberries, and I find they taste a bit like apples. They're incredibly small and a bit annoying to harvest. It would probably take you days to get enough for one pie, so it's best to leave them for the forest critters. After traveling 5.5 kilometers west along the wide, easy path of the south shore of Upper Kananaskis Lake, you will come to a well-signed junction for Astor Lake. Here you turn south, which is left, onto a narrower but still well-maintained trail. Deadfall is cleared here every summer, so although the trail feels more closed in than the Upper K Lake Trail, you should have no difficulty following it. You're now traveling south along the east shore of Hidden Lake. Although I have not yet encountered a grizzly on this trail, I have seen a great deal of bear sign, and grizzlies are known to travel this trail between the Astor Lake area and Upper Kananaskis Lake, so it's wise to make a great deal of noise here. After about 7 kilometers from the trailhead, you come to a series of well-graded switchbacks that have a number of rock stairs, making your ascent out of the forest fairly easy. At 7.5 kilometers, you emerge from the trees. You will be mostly on rock now for the rest of the day, so say farewell to the shade. Your route now curves generally southwest along a trail of rock. At first, the rocks feel well placed and secure, but they soon transition to semi-solid scree as you side hill along the foot of Mount Surrail. You're about to gain 400 vertical meters in just under 2 kilometers. Keep your eyes open for marine fossils here. I have found several bivalve fossils on these slopes. Fossil Falls now comes into view. This massive cascade is gorgeous, but not easy to get to. It makes a very worthwhile day trip if you're skilled at route finding and can tolerate a bit of bushwhacking. You cross 2 streams on your way up the scree field. Snow can linger here well into the early part of August, and it may cover the trail in places. Here I was required to scramble up the rock as the snow slope was too steep to make a safe ascent without an ice axe. Once you're past the second creek, you come to a bit of a crux that requires some fancy footwork and handholds. If this crux is a bit beyond your comfort zone, there is a bypass on the left. Just double back about 5 meters and you'll see a scrambly route climbing up on the left-hand side. Once you're past this crux, the grade eases and you soon re-enter subalpine forest. 5 to 10 minutes after passing the turnoff for the ranger cabin, you are presented with large, well-placed boulders across a stream that is unnamed on my topo map, but because it drains the Marlborough Tarn, I call it Marlborough Creek. If your destination is Astor Lake, then keep straight, which is westish, after this creek. But if you're headed to Marlborough Tarn, turn left immediately after crossing the stream. For a while, you'll be on obvious and easy to follow but unofficial trail as it heads south-southeast towards Mount Marlborough. Before long, though, you'll lose the trail and wonder if you missed an obvious turn. Don't worry, I couldn't find a trail through here either, but as long as you just hug the stream bank and follow it up valley, you'll get where you're going. In just over half a kilometer, the trees open up and give way to wide expanses of green meadows dotted with wildflowers and broken by massive slabs of karst. Here's where you need to really start watching for fossils. I was amazed at the sheer number, literally thousands, of horn coral fossils embedded in the limestone. Don't forget, collecting fossils as souvenirs is strictly prohibited, so take nothing but photos. At the 12 to 13 kilometer mark, you'll come to a small talus head wall that is easily ascended. You top out on tundra hills that overlook the bright blue Tarn at the foot of Mount Marlborough. Generally, any water body fed by a glacier is bright blue, and Marlborough Tarn is no exception. The wind was exceedingly fierce when I was here in late July, which is a shame because I would have loved to sit and enjoy this lake. On your return, you can make a loop towards Astor Lake. Facing back down valley, you'll see a low hill of tundra and limestone on skiers left of the creek you ascended. If you enjoy a little off-trail route finding with a few easy scramble moves thrown in for fun, not to mention trillions more fossils, head generally northwest over the rock hills towards Astor Lake Campground. You'll arrive at Astor Lake at about 15 kilometers from your vehicle. Enjoy the gorgeous alpine setting of Astor Lake. Once you're ready to return home, the trail back is well marked and obvious. You'll travel past the big green campground biffy and a beautiful waterfall on your left before hooking back up with the trail on which you ascended earlier in the day. Be prepared that your descent across the Sorel Scree is not likely to be much faster than your ascent. I find this section of loose rock is just loose enough to give you unstable footing, but not loose enough for a really good scree run. It's basically the worst kind of scree. Be prepared to fall a few times. Trekking poles would help greatly here. When you get back to that crux, if descending it looks too intimidating, don't forget there is a bailout option skiers right. Even if you managed to get up this crux on the way in, descending it can be quite tricky. I hope you found this route description helpful. Although Marlborough Tarn can be visited on a single day hike, many will prefer to backpack to Astor Lake and tackle it as a short side trip during their stay. The total stats that I logged on my day hike were 27 kilometers and just over 1,200 meters of vertical.